Um, um, North America's home for Afro beats. Um, Beautiful station. Please check it out. We're available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, even Tumblr. Right, Afro American One. And this is our weekly Village Square community podcast for Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, Inauguration Day. So, yes, I can't wait to get into my, get into the show today. But first of all, yes, I'm your host, Marlon Solomon. I am the president and founder of the Afro American Culture Initiative, a Boston-based nonprofit organization with the mission to build cultural bridges in the African diaspora through education, technology, and travel. So we do this every week, right? Every Wednesday, we get you over the hump of the week into work early in the morning with all the stuff that you need to know about this crazy, crazy world that we living in. And that's why we call it the Village Square. This is our village, you know what I'm saying? So the state of today's village, my ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters here on Inauguration Day. I'm feeling kind of preachy since we just did Martin Luther King dinner with the doctor on Martin Luther King Day. Yeah, shout out to all the people that came. So yeah. Let's see, my take, the Village Square is hurting and hopeful. That's how I would sum up how I'm feeling. We're hurting, we're hurt, we're injured, we're bleeding, we're on the ground, but we're still hopeful and prayerful as usual. You know, still faithful and still believing in a better tomorrow. Today, of course, is Inauguration Day. At this very, very moment, it's 8:05 a.m. Marine One is on the lawn of the White House, and everybody's waiting for this man to get out. And, you know, why we're hurting and hopeful is because this isn't actually about politics. This story is about a character of a man, the culture, the way he lived his life. And, you know, at the Afro American Culture Initiative, we're about diversity, you know, multiculturalism, community. It really is something like, to us, to bring people together and let us, you know, enjoy and marvel in each other's uniqueness, right? I would hate for everybody to be the same, you know? And then to have this symbol placed in such a high position, able to give voice to some of the most archaic, evil tendencies that human beings have ever expressed. And all this expression came to a culminating boil, a grand finale, just like he always likes it. 2 weeks ago today, when the Capitol was ransacked by white supremacist insurrectionists. So today, like I said, the Village Square is hurting from the trauma. We're hopeful because 12 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, the power just shifts. Like wherever you are, you're just nobody all of a sudden. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. We're leaving you. And then the action continues. This country is more than one man. All right. So like I said, thank you very much. Let's get started with the show. Hey, like I said, watch us on YouTube, watch us on YouTube TV, subscribe. All right. So our first, as usual, we start off with our COVID-19 section where we want to encourage everybody to do your research, right? Don't take it from us. All right. This is life and death. We want to put it in your hands. Do your research. This is life and death, right? And make a decision. to join the fight against COVID-19. Now, there are many ways we can all join in. It's not one way for everything. Of course, we want you to do all, but if you do most of them, then at least I can't not say you're not doing your part to fight COVID-19. So this is brought to you by the Boston Public Health Commission. And we want you to stay fit with exercise, mental health, and healthy diet. That is the first thing we want you to do. There's so many different exciting ways to do it: mental health, meditating, healthy diet, just eating good, or at least homemade recipes with all this great stuff like honey and and garlic, and there's loads of things that we can do to stay healthy. Just try to do more of that, right? Wash your hands, of course. Wear a mask. We all know these ones. Socially distance. Stay away from indoor crowds. Contact trace. Remember your contacts for at least, right, 3 days, because that's when you're infectious, right? If you start getting symptoms, who was I 3 days? Who have I been around in the last 3 days, right? And then get vaccinated, right? That is your flu shot, so as well. Right? If you don't want to get vaccinated, I get it. That's the tricky one, right? Everybody's like, I don't feel like I get it. A lot of strong emotions on both sides. But we need everybody to try to stand up. Whoever can stand up first. Talk to your brothers and sisters about it. Don't talk negative about the vaccine, because if you don't want to do it, that's your personal decision. Don't start sharing. Don't be a Trump out there with spreading, information that's not scientifically sound. You don't want to do that. Okay. So, the numbers for coronavirus are we have three in Massachusetts. We have 3,885 cases with 44 deaths yesterday. Today in Texas, we have 21,882. Wow, with 318 deaths. They're just out of control in Texas, man. It's been on 20s now, 20s, 20. Like, I don't know what's gonna be like. And then USA in total 185,000 cases yesterday, which is at least below 200. All right, and then 27,000 deaths, which is also less. But there's always a dip on the weekend, and because this, they don't do as much reporting on the weekend, so I will not take that as what it is, because when we had a 3-day weekend, and then worldwide it was 688,000, 14.7 thousand deaths, with 2 million. We passed the 2 million mark. Yeah, 2 million people died worldwide. So you can see that we crossed. Speaking of milestones, we crossed a very, very dark one yesterday, and it's really just goes into the whole Trump thing, because it just is like, it's so perfect. Like, this God, you look at what you did. 4,000 very cleanly crossed the day before. 100,000 deaths, and the man didn't say anything. With all due respect, we want to just say, well, you know what? With respect, forget all the with respect to all that have died, I have lost loved ones as well. We all know that God is in control, and what we want to do is we just want to, tell them, that He should accept their souls, and may they continue to rest in peace. So, that's what this is about, man. At the end of the day, people actually are gone. People that we love, people's uncles and aunties, and I mean, so many people, moms and dads and sisters and brothers and kids. Yes, kids too. Because a lot of it is because of misinformation. A lot of it is about misinformation and lying. And even if we get the vaccine out, there are certain people, like I said, when it comes to racism, it's a real issue. But when it comes to this, where they just don't want to believe because of misinformation, then it's not. That's why we do this podcast, because we got to let that information out there. We cannot just be, you know, we cannot just be not ensuring that a lot of people are hearing the truth. And if you want, if that's what we say, do your research. Huh? Do your research. The main issue that everybody's talking about, the insurrection, you're right, that's bad. He really did incite that, but he's inciting also like $3,000 or $4,000 deaths a day, because 3,000 to 4,000 deaths a day, because he was inciting death by lying about the pandemic. And that, if he's inciting that, he's the pandemic that has that delayed process. Oh, it's not me, people just dying. That's even worse. He's now getting into the helicopter. Anyway, look, we're going to move forward. That's why we're being hopeful, right? One of the things I heard, now I'm not sure, is that we may be on the other side of the peak. We might be starting to see a little come down, because they're seeing a little consistent, or at least a plateau. It's not skyrocketing, right? So we're thankful about that. Now, the only issue now, I mean, that's what they're saying. It's nothing conclusive, but they're seeing a pattern, like a week or two of it not just skyrocketing, which means that at least we have stopped moving. But now the new concern is that we have variants. Variants are mutated coronavirus that aren't not pound for pound more dangerous, right? Not pound for pound more dangerous, but they're faster, so they get more wins. How does that sound like? That sounds like what's this guy? Oh my God, the boxer. I remember his name. Pound for pound, best box. Okay, forget about it. I won't. I'm too busy into this. I can't get there yet. So variants, right, make the coronavirus more infectious. That's what there's a more infectious type of coronavirus. And it now, so because it's infecting people, it's filling up hospitals more, it's causing more deaths. And this is what they're worried about, that in the next 2 or 3 months, this faster moving coronavirus will now be the most dominant strain. So it's like, we're now fighting against coronavirus 2.0, because if that comes back, then it'll be infecting faster and we'll go back up again. Right? This is the scariest thing about this coronavirus, that it seems to be mutating not only faster, that it maybe it can even get, who says it can't get faster than this? So we're trying to inoculate ourselves before it tries to go through, and we're like, I think they're about 20, all this time, we're about 20 something percent, 30% has been infected out of the all this problem we're talking about. So that means like 2-3 more years of this. That's 3,000, 4,000 people dying for 2 or 3 more years every day from coronavirus. We can't do it. Our economy means we're destroyed. So that's why we need an artificial barrier, which is the vaccine. Which, at least at this point, the vaccine is still, the variant has not mutated to the point where it can escape. That's the word they use, escape the vaccine. All right. So what I think everybody should do, everybody should be preparing their best, planning their lives in accordance with having a shutdown anytime coming soon. Just be prepared. Don't just say, oh, well, and then they shut it down. Oh, there is a very big possibility. I hope everybody's listening, that there will be a shutdown very soon. Make sure you're stocking up. Make sure you're keeping things. Some people have been actually doing very well. They've been keeping these things on high alert. They've always been, and some have not. So we're talking to those who have not. Please, if you have the opportunity, pick up that extra toilet roll. Make sure your fridge is stocked with a few food items here and there. Make sure that you're good. So in case there is a stop down, right, a shutdown, you will not have to go out and rush and also risk further infection. That's what we mean when we say we're trying to encourage everybody to have a COVID-19 action plan. All right. The COVID-19 action plan, just things you have to think of. Like, let's say you have COVID. Who's going to go and get your groceries? Right? Who's going to go get your groceries? You got to think about stuff like that. Right? You got to think about stuff like that. Okay. Um, so that, you know, that being said, right? We're all waiting for the vaccine, like I'm telling you. Now, of course, in true Trump fashion, there is no backup. There is no backup um, vaccines. Apparently, Trump and his team, they'll do backup. But Dr. Fauci said it was a miscommunication, which you see, you can't really trust. Dr. Fauci he's very concerned about making people comfortable, and so he'll say things that are true, but you have to. He does his things in like three months increment. Then he'll tell you about the next. Don't mind Dr. Fauci. As soon as he gets it, he'll now tell you, oh, and this is what I think is gonna, like, Dr. Fauci, why didn't you say this 7 months ago so we could all, but I get it. If you say stuff like that, you might panic the population. So I'm sure there's some delicacy, some diplomacy, health diplomacy. That's kind of what, like a health ambassador. They're very, very important to solving, these things. And that's what they do. So, but anyway, there is none backed up. So now even some states like New York State is saying, look, let me go and buy my own from Pfizer. I got the dough, So I said, no problem. That's what they need to do. That's really what they need to do, But hey, even the Biden team is nervous. They say they don't know what these people have not told them all, that when they get inside today, will they know if when they get inside today, they will now know that, they don't know what they're going to find there, because Trump basically left the whole thing in shambles. I think even really, technically speaking, nobody's going to give him, he doesn't have any time, but I really imagine that by the time Biden gets in there, what they're going to find, they're going to realize is even for them to be operating optimally, it might be 6 months before they like operating, okay, 6 months out of Trump, and I'm telling you, the success of the new president is going to be tough, but he has an opportunity, because if he just, even the contrast, I think he's going to be a very successful president. Let me just write this down. He's going to be known as a restorer, a savior, all these kind of things because of, but is he doing really so great? I'm sure he's going to do above average, but when your predecessor was complete trash, the worst, everybody's so hungry for him to be good that I think he's going to do a great job. I think he's going to do a great job. And especially because of everybody's going to be grateful for truth and happiness. He has a very good opportunity here. If he shows great example, everybody will really know the value of it. Sometimes you have to lose. Sometimes you have to lose something you think is there for you to appreciate it. So maybe we didn't appreciate the truth before. Like I said, we're hoping for a new, better tomorrow. So we're gonna definitely hoping for a new, better tomorrow. So we're definitely going to I think he's going to be able to renew truth, right? So anyway, in Massachusetts, one of the things they're doing, they're talking to Walgreens, they're talking to CVS about these vaccine rollout. Now they're doing stuff. Even they're changing Fenway, where the Red Sox play, over there. But Black folks don't live in Brookline, and this is now what the issue is. Okay, this is the issue. And this goes back to my studies. Guys, I'm a civil engineer. I do the studies on redlining, which is, I guess it is the systematic way in which our lives are shaped physically by putting Black people in certain areas in the city and denying them rights and this and that. It is a systemic segregation, is how segregation, separating of the races, was achieved by the U.S. government. Okay. Now, the problem in our communities, because these communities are underserved, right? The population is artificially high because you didn't allow people to move out, and then you didn't upgrade the facilities within that thing to match what was going on. And then I just sit back and say, I don't know what's happening. No, that's what's happening. And 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 therefore the pharmacies are not enough. The pharmacies are not enough for the people that live there. The Walgreens are not enough. The grocery stores are not enough. But there's enough Burger King. Oh boy. That's what they should use. They should use the Burger Kings they should use the Burger Kings as vaccine sites. They're really close to black people. That's actually a good idea. I just thought about that right now. I'm gonna start using that. So we're all, now that we're getting, today's episode is, of course, a little extra focus on what could be seen political, but like I always tell people, it's not political. This is about culture. This is about truth versus not truth. We don't care if you're Republican or a Democrat or whatever. That's not that. It happens to be that the racist element are in one party. They just chose that party. We don't know if they chose the Democrat. We wouldn't like the Democrats either. It doesn't matter. This is about, but it's just that, unfortunately, much like one thing I'm going to enjoy and was a real challenge for us this year, in fact, was keeping things cultural and having to make that explanation every time, because normal presidents would not be mixing politics and this and that. Of course, a pandemic, there would definitely be something to talk about politics, because you definitely want to know what the leaders are doing and why they're doing it. Maybe this is why you should support it, where you shouldn't support it. That's not for me to say. Do your research. Okay. But we seem as if we're going to have some new priorities moving forward. We're very thankful, because there's so many promises that he says on day one. Well, that day one means this is what I'm all about. These are my new priorities. This is where I want to lead this country. And I'm so excited because, first of all, there's the $2 trillion stimulus. Okay. That $2 trillion stimulus will handle a lot of stuff, and is at least a good push, and it's enough to push on. They may need more, they may not need more. But this, for now, we can only see as far as we can throw, right? I mean, we can only, so we cannot start planning for something we cannot see. Okay, we cannot throw to. So let's just do this big push, and everybody needs to come together and give it one good. We can do it, and you'll be surprised what we achieve. All right. There's the eviction moratorium, so people who are worrying about rent, at least that stress comes down. Stress kills too. Stress kills too. People are stressing out, just having heart attacks. You don't even know why. Stress kills too. Okay. Okay. So eviction moratorium is going to be a student loan pause, right? Those are, then 100-day masking. So for 100 days, going to ask everywhere that's federal to have to wear masks. Right. And that just sends a message. Yes, not everywhere, but it's going to stop a lot of places. And then, at least it sends the message. This is what we're all about. All right. He's also going to be pushing to open schools. I know we all need that, because our children need to get back into school where they can interact with other kids. And, it really is, I definitely want him, interact with other kids and things, very, very sad. Although in Massachusetts, they do have some new remote and hybrid learning rules and things, but in the end of the day, we want to go back. I think we should go back to definitely hybrid as soon as possible. Just let us get into the swing of things before you go back out to full, because it's also a lot of transportation. There's a lot of other things that have to happen. It's not just, people leave their house in a vapor and appear in the school. There's transportation, there's this, there's that. So all that activity will also cause infection. But we should definitely, and these are just my opinions. I think we should definitely have at least a mix. Everybody can choose their own, right? Do your research. Right? So you know, it's good to see that we have now a lot of it looks, that we have a new direction. We have somebody that's willing. You have to understand, I guess now we can start moving into a in a politics watch. But you had a man that was so interested in one lie that he didn't even bother about the second lie that he kept on doing. And the second lie was the pandemic. He stopped didn't care whether you had the pandemic, whether you didn't like. And this is what he used to tell us that other people would do. He'll tell us, oh, yeah, other people. Oh, so, just on point, as we are talking about the politics line, the man has landed in Joint Base Andrews, Maryland, right? And he's there, and there are a few people, scanty people there. There's nobody there. The man is literally going to give his little last talks about empty supporters. He wanted a big crowd. Nobody came. Everybody has abandoned him, because abandoning him is abandoning a lie. And that, my brothers and sisters, is why we should be hopeful. Because abandoning this man, and now everybody gets a chance to say, okay, now this is clearly bad. What are you going to do? So all this impeachment is necessary. You have to get everybody on record. Everybody must be on record for the worst attack. This is constitutional stuff. From one branch attacking another to stop something from happening. Because he had been fighting. Remember, this is one thing I want to say about this. Because everybody goes, oh my God, since the election. Think about it. This man has been trying to win the election since Ukraine. His first impeachment was about winning this election. So let's not act. He was even a bit okay the Trump in the first 2 years was not even that. Isn't when he got an election, that's when he started getting like super sick. Was when he started really going after the Ukraine guy. It was crazy. It was just stupid and like comical, before the first 2 years. But after the second 2 years, oh my gosh, it was really something else. And that's what this inauguration day signifies. Now let's see us gather amongst ourselves, appreciate ourselves, love ourselves. Dr. King said it's love that's going to take away the hatred. Hate cannot take away hate. Only love can take away hate. That's what my Dr. King said. I'm always quoting Dr. King now. I'm feeling very Dr. Kingy. This was the first Dr. King day since George Floyd died. So it was a very special one, especially in these days of the racial reckoning, how we're moving forward. That was another great thing that happened this week. Was MLK Day had a special day, more special meaning because of this man. Because we saw the natural enemy of the Black man in this country. We saw the natural enemy out full force. This is the KKK. This is the KKK. What you saw was the KKK. It's just 2020. And that's one thing people must understand, that there's context. Like now, states cannot secede because it's 2020. We have technology. So much is going. It's back then. You didn't even know what was going on in the next town, let alone in Washington D.C. The connectivity, technology, the strength of the institutions. These institutions have now been around longer. They've cemented themselves. Okay, this is nobody's. Everybody's going to act and nothing's going to break down like that. But now the war is cyber. That is the new, like what we're doing here. We're fighting the war too. Afro Surge Radio, fighting the war. YouTube, but everybody's different. But now we're on here. And if we have to put ours out there, we can't sit back there and let them just put theirs out there. I mean, y'all know bad news travels much faster than good news. So it's important that, and the same thing happened with this coronavirus. The same thing happened with coronavirus. Let us really understand the big lie, the election lie. It's just part of it. This thing started way back with the first impeachment, the turmoil, the chaos. The guy just didn't lead anything. Wow, he's walking into focus, Marlon. Two impeachments because of the insurrection of 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. And now he's going to get convicted. Members of, and remember now, members of this is criminal behavior. Members of this mob were all organized and they were looking for the Pence. They were looking for, it was like they were inside there looking for, like zombies. They're not too far off because zombies are not thinking as well. But we cannot look at these people as even though we're talking about the hate, but the people themselves, we have to use compassion, as Dr. Martin Luther King said. We have to use compassion to fight these people. We cannot look at them. This is an illness. This is something a lot of them have been programmed. That, I do the history in my Afro-American Academy. It literally was unfair, and they started brainwashing their children in the 1910s, 20s, 30s. They were brainwashing their children. I mean, and I'm talking of like how you tell people to recite prayers and remember prayers at a young age. Literally, repetition, rewards. Now you give somebody a dog a reward for doing the right thing. Rewards, they're giving the kids rewards. Literal training. So we have to look at it like that and see how can we help. I'm not going to take Afro-American Culture Initiative is going to be on the forefront of trying to figure out how to help our brothers and sisters that have this racist element. Hey, we can't help them all, but the ones that we can peel off, let's peel them off. All right. So we have to understand that if this was 1865, we would be fighting. This is what happened in the Civil War. They had generals, people in the military. They had Congress people in the Congress. And they had, of course, the Confederate communities and states that just left. They just left. And if they could do it now, these people would do it, but they can't. So now it's on cyber war, conspiracy theory. And it's sort of like a small group versus a big group, which is why they're comparing it to terrorism abroad. It's just domestic terrorism because they can't fight a real war against, so they have to just be attacking. The ideology just has to attack back. And now he gave a bunch of pardons and he's slithering away, trying to act like he's tough. Anyway, we're now going to the 46th president. We're going to normalcy. We're going to decency. We're going to, did you see the 400 lights memorial? Oh, yesterday was so beautiful. They had 4,000 lights representing 1,000 of the people that died. That's 4,000 people, 4,000 to mark the 400,000 people that died. And they had four light all around the Washington Mall. I mean, the reflecting pool, just looking beautiful with Lincoln right there. I mean, honestly, it was, it was the first act of compassion. It was the first time that we've had a national day of mourning of the coronavirus. Can you believe it? It's been around almost a year. He has never done anything like that. Finally, can you imagine? And that's the first thing he does. So symbolic, so beautiful. Right? It was such, and then he gave an emotional speech in Delaware before he left. He was really, you could tell he was tearing up. He was hard for him to say, but he was so proud of himself, and I was proud for him too. Well done. Well done, Commander in Chief. Just the character. This is about character. It's about class. This isn't about any kind of you know, Democrat or Republican. Yes, we do agree on a lot of things, but if you're agreeing on diversity, I think that's the right thing. This is not a radical idea about left and right. Diversity should be Republican and Democrats, not one side. And you say now it's politics. That's a false thing. And if you don't believe me, then let's go one to the second in line. The second in line. Kamala Harris. The first woman. I don't even like qualifying just the first woman to ever be in the vice presidency role. So don't even worry. Let's not even worry about white or what. The first woman. Well done, Kamala Harris. All the AKAs of doing their thing on Instagram. I see y'all. I always thought the AKAs was just they were just the past in college. So that is what we want to see, more diversity, right? Yes, she's Black. Yes, she's she's Indian, South Asian. Yes, she has Jamaican background. Yes, we all know that. But guess what? A woman is the second in control. And the third is Nancy Pelosi, is another woman. This is the first time. And just even think about this. The top three people, none of them are Protestant. Well, I think none of them are Protestant Christians. Well, except for the white, this part of this, the religious rights that, none of them are part, because you have a Roman Catholic Irish. Jeez, that sounds like who? JFK. Then you have a black woman. Let's say black woman. That's we don't have to qualify that. Then you have an Italian. I think Nancy Pelosi is Italian. All these people, 50s, well, let's say 70 years ago, they couldn't be living in the good parts of town. Let's put it like that. All right. So that's what we want to see, progress, right? Not this country divided. We want to see something like Abraham Lincoln. And I really understand why Abraham Lincoln is really celebrated. He kept this country together because this country was about to get torn apart in two because of race. So don't tell me that this country is not founded on race. All right. So one thing everybody's trying to see is how will Biden stand? How will Biden back up all his promises? Because Biden got elected by Black people. This was a cultural thing. This was racial. This was culture, but this was more cultural. The culture of diversity fought back once again. This is we're racking up victories, y'all. This is the racking up victory. We won in 1865, but they have a backlash. And now, right, they're going to win again. Well, we won again in the 60s. With Martin Luther King, there was a backlash. People died. In fact, the first time people died, Abraham Lincoln died. Let me say something that I was thinking about the other day. My brothers and sisters, check this out. Now, the Republicans always talk about this is about culture and politics, right? The Republicans always talk about Abraham being, right? Oh, this is the party of Abraham. But it's a lie. It's an intellectual lie, because it's another big lie, because the names changed. So all the Democrats were in the South and all the Republicans were in the North. I mean, Abraham Lincoln was Illinois. Okay. But this, not even just that. When Abraham Lincoln was killed, was assassinated, the person that assassinated him was a Confederate sympathizer. So they said this is the party of Lincoln killed by the Confederates, so they have both of the flags. So that proves that this is about culture. There's a culture that exists in the South, and they've always been like this. And that's where the slaves were. That's the Confederate people. There's even less. It's even more systemic the way black people are, and these systems are going to come down. And that's why we want to see what Biden's going to do. How is Biden going to take down systemic racism from the roots? And what we're going to do is we're going to be in the Afro America. We're going to be here to design the systems that is going to take down this systemic racism. It's everywhere. You have to just know how to look for it and how to solve it. But once we do, our people are actually going to get the real kind of life that we all deserve. This is another war. And after this war, this reset, that's what it's usually a reset. It's going to be painful. It's going to be, tough. But I think after the coronavirus and we recovered from this thing and we've been through all this, I think we're going to come out just fine on the other end. It's not going to be easy. There's going to be, right-wing terrorism. We have to be careful. But all in all, we're on the side of good. And because we're on the side of good, all is going to be well. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So that's my message today. Like I said, the Village Square is hurting and hopeful. We're looking forward to watching a very good day of hope and excitement on, a lot of days of hope and excitement with the new administration, how great things we hope things will be. But Dan, before I go any further, Afro Surge Radio, I hope you're there. Thank you so much. YouTube, please subscribe. Go to YouTube TV. Afro American TV on YouTube, right? You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So anyway, little bit about my Celtics. All the Boston fans, I love my Celtics. This is well, we lost really big, very Kemba came back. It was a terrible, humiliating loss. I don't even know what to say. It was just humiliating. I just was so annoyed. Like, I don't even understand. I forgot who beat us. It wasn't the Knicks beat the Celtics. Honestly. Anyway, we're a young team. I know, but that's the maturity. Mature teams just can't let that happen. It's not like you have a spurt, not just anyway. Jason Tatum was out, but I don't think Jason Tatum should be the reason why we lost that game. We just didn't hit our shots. Anyway, like I said, so Kemba is back. He's looking good. He too, I think, also destabilized the team, so it wasn't as crisp a game as it usually is. But we'll see tonight. The Celtics play the 76ers, and because of the COVID-19 protocols, they're going to play 2 games against them. So that's going to be very exciting. Can't wait to watch both of them. I think Jason Tatum will be there for the second game, not the first. So it's good. Let Kemba. And now that we are getting our guys back, we're really looking a bit deeper. We're looking a whole lot deeper. And I think it's getting tight. And let's see how it goes. But Peyton Pritchard, he's a gamer. The guy can score. He's got minutes. He's in the rotation. The guy can score. He still scored like 16 points, even on that bad game. Yes, he didn't shoot as great, but he didn't shoot bad as some people. So we were even like because we didn't play as many games as other people. We even have we were kind of East, kind of like number 1 in the East. So the Jason Tatum being out kind of helped us because, Jason Tatum was out at the Jason Tatum was out at the he was going to be out all anyway because of COVID-19, because our team had a lot of games out because of COVID-19. And now that he was COVID-19 was coincided, his quarantining coincided with the with us missing games. So we didn't really lose any games, except for So this last one was the only game we actually lost with Jason Tatum not playing. So this one again. So we'll have 2 games with our best player not playing. Okay, not as bad. So we'll see what we can do. I'm thinking that we can do really good. What happened with James Harden going to the Nets is huge. I've been watching the games. He's a better point guard than I think he should be the point guard and let Kyrie just shoot, since that's what he likes to do anyway. That might be the way out. And I don't know how you're going to stop KD on one side. James Harden with the ball at the top of the key. And then Kyrie's squirting or moving around and doing 1 or 2 quick moves and a shot. It's not possible. So I predict the Nets versus the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then God should just take care of the rest. So I think we're going to get to Eastern Conference Finals. You heard it here first. Yeah. So, by everybody, this we're gearing up. We're doing a soft launch, planning a whole bunch of events for Black History Month. I still haven't even got the artwork. I'm still getting myself together, but it's going to be a beautiful celebration. It's Black History Month. It's the first Black History Month post George Floyd, just like the MLK. It's just a little more special this year. And then, like I said, Afro-American Academy. We're going to have online resources for communities of color. We have a lot of Afrocentric, great material to keep the kids empowered and feeling proud about themselves. We have African American cultural competency, really specially done for African Americans. We have African diaspora cultural competency, social justice and STEAM, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, cultural nutrition, education, African diaspora civics, history, African diaspora pop culture. We have a lot of different things, right? And, some of the stuff are very important. Financial literacy, social justice, and STEAM. These are great things that we need to do. And it launches Black History Month. So we want you to just, go to Eventbrite, follow us. Check us out on Afro-American, subscribe on Afro-American TV, because we post a lot of our material on there. So maybe you didn't catch it that day. It's a podcast. Listen to it on your way to work, while you're doing your ring. At least you keep updated with what's going on. So yeah, check out, go online. We're about to launch the actual website pretty soon. And once we do, we're just very excited. To these kids, they've really been helpful. We have, it was a City of Boston Youth Engagement Program, employment. So we have a lot of our work is actually done with, educating educators and resource material, but also a lot of kid involvement. So kids actually produced a lot of this stuff. So it is extremely exciting. I love educating. I love talking. Maybe that's why. So anyway, we're very, very happy about that. Then also, what do we're also working on, let me take this back. So we've gotten some funding recently from the Boston Public Health Commission, like I said. And what we are doing in Afro-American Culture Initiative, we're putting together content, great content, as we always do. We make that content easy for us and our people to digest, you know what I'm saying? And we're now educating people on COVID-19 contact tracing. So if you have like your community leaders, anything like that, please let us, community leaders and things like that, let us work hard to fight in our communities, because you can't, if you're waiting for somebody to come into your community and fix your problem, boy, we got a long way to go. So what we're doing is that we're trying to educate people. So if you have like a church leader, You get, if you're a church leader or you're a community leader, you've got a group of people, or maybe you're a part of a group and you think, we're looking for how we can learn more about COVID-19 to protect people in our communities. Hey, give us a shout out. We'll set up a time. We can set up program for you, try to help you develop what you need. If you have your logo, things like that, we're just trying to help you the best we can. And we'll try to help you develop a program, or you can use our programming stuff and just use it and tell your people how this is done. And, then we can have webinars, whatever. We'll try to work something out with you so that we, can, we can help you develop your own systems, right? Then there's, even have access to language translation, if we can afford it, or let's see how we can do it, right? Anyway, long story short, for our COVID-19, please reach out. We're being a consultant to communities right now. It is really good work. We're setting up with some churches. We're going to be talking to them. What's going on? What do you guys need? How is this and then? Is it, and just having the discussion, bringing some of this great information, about the vaccine, about some of the historical racist problems, what the government is doing to help, and just do a lot of community engagement to ensure that our communities are getting the best information brought to them. Okay. All right. So please subscribe to Afro American TV. We have a COVID-19 section where there's a lot of videos on there, right? You can go watch these videos. Okay. There are a lot of and learn more. Anytime I go online, I see a great video, I just add it to the playlist, right? Go check that out. You can go to our website. We have a resource hub, right? Go to our website, www.afroamerican1.org/COVID-19, and check us out. There's locations to test, vaccine information from all the cities, sites, and things like that. Some decent, good information on there. We're always trying to update it. If you have any suggestions, please send us a shout out. So yeah, we have with all this, providing the webinars, providing the consultation, providing resources online, we hope that we can provide the community with access to things that they need. And because the disproportionate, we're in if this whole our areas, our communities, because they're overpopulated, because of redlining, our areas are just, and they don't have the kind of resources. We're running uphill already, my brothers and sisters. So we better put on some shoes, because they ain't gonna be able to put that hill down anytime soon. So we need to just be extra vigilant. It's not, we can do it. We want to do it. We want to learn. And we're not even just talking about medical stuff. What about remedies? I'm doing a show this Black History Month about healthy remedies and mental health, right? Because I know it's not just about, take a vaccine. That's what you think is all. No, there's healthy remedies. When, my mom's always putting onion, garlic, honey, lemon, forget all the remaining ingredients. So many little things, and then you boil it and make a tea. You strain the tea. That's stuff. Ginger. That's the last one. Ginger. And you mix it and you drink it and you feel great. You actually feel very, very zesty. You feel, you can feel the nutrients. We can do that. That's part of it. But so it's not just like health. When we're talking about this COVID-19 is going around taking people who have issues. If you're overweight, then you've got to get. I'm not going to sit here and talk too much to you, but I'm not going to sit there and also pretend like it doesn't matter. Right? Do your research, make your decision, but do your research. And if I talk about the facts, don't tell me that I shouldn't say facts, because people with BMI, that's body mass index, higher than 30, are highly susceptible for hospitalization. And we're trying to keep the hospitalizations right down. We don't want those hospitalizations to get too bad, because they get too bad. Guess what? If you want to have a baby, you have a broken leg, maybe you have a heart attack or a stroke or whatever issue you're going to have. Oh, no, maybe not you, maybe your grandma, whatever. Hmm? If if all those things go bad, what are you going to do? You can't go to the hospital. Ambulance is not going to. They're not going to have enough ambulance to take you. Anyway, so we want to thank everybody once again for helping our COVID-19 effort. Please donate. We had a great donation at the Martin Luther King. Yes, thank you so much for everybody who donated. We're our nonprofit organization, 501c3. So you will get it is a tax. That's another thing I want to talk about sometimes. The government makes it so that you can pay your taxes where you want to. If you think we're helping your community out, please pay your taxes with us. And it doesn't have to go to the city. When it goes to the city, it's not coming back, most likely. So this is a system that we can use to really upgrade our community. So we hope that you watch us, keep an eye on us, keep us accountable. All right. Keep us accountable. If you think we could do more or you think we could help out, let us know. Right. We have our COVID-19 resource hub. Check it out. It's got a lot of good resources if you want to learn about this, some of the things about COVID-19. Even we're going to be putting up contact tracing jobs here pretty soon. So if you want to work and help actually and learn something, we're going to be able to try. Let's see if we can get some people recruited for that. Then yeah, Afro American TV on YouTube. Like I said, email us at info@afroamerican1.org. So once again, I want to thank everybody once again. Afro Surge Radio, big up to JD and DJ Yaki for keeping it real. And we will see you next week on the Village Square. Happy Inauguration Day.